Poco Studios in Oklahoma City. You're watching the Press Row. I'm Jenny Carlson here with Barry Trammell. Time for 5 in 5. 5 topics, 5 minutes. 5 in 5, 1 bell. Let's get right to it, Barry. Let's play a little either or. You need a big play? Are you going with Sterling Shepard or Tyreek Hill?
That's an excellent question. Sterling Shepard is clearly a playmaker, but I'm going to go with Tyreek Hill because I saw him do it against Florida State. We've wondered what happened to this guy the last 2 weeks. Missouri State, Texas San Antonio, very few touches. But when the Cowboys were in a tight game, we saw what they did. They relied on Tyreek Hill. That was Florida State. The Seminoles were scared to death of him. Sterling Shepard's a wonderful player. He can produce at all times. But Tyreek Hill's speed is so out of the ordinary. I think he can produce a big play virtually out of nothing.
Now, we may be asking about the wrong Sooner here. Maybe Alex Ross is the Sooner that we needed to be picking from. He's already had 3 plays of 80-plus yards this season, including that 101-yard kickoff return at West Virginia that saved the OU coaches bacon because they'd called that onside kick. They didn't recover it. West Virginia goes down and scores, gets momentum. Here comes Alex Ross. But that said, I still think Tyreek Hill is the guy you give the ball to if you really want a big play. But man, there are some electric players on these teams, and it's going to be really exciting to see as Big 12 play gets started just how they can factor into these teams and what they do out there. All right, Barry, what about this? You need a yard? Are you giving it to Samaje Perine or Desmond Roland?
If I need a yard, if I need 10 yards, if I need milk, if I need a, if I need a colonoscopy, whatever the deal is, I'm giving the ball to Samaje Perine. Whatever the problem is, give the ball to this guy. I mean, I don't know if he's a superstar or not, but I'm going to let him show me one way or the other. For crying out loud, 242 yards on 34 carries, players bouncing off of him. This wasn't Louisiana Tech. This wasn't Tulsa bouncing. This is a Big 12 team bouncing off of this guy. So I'm giving the ball to Samaje Perine. I'm, this running back by committee, I wouldn't disband the committee, but I would definitely appoint a chairman.
I'm going with Perine as well. Now, I will say it's going to be good to sort of see him do this consistently. I think we saw him do it consistently against West Virginia, which is saying something, obviously. 34 carries, 242. Now, I think Desmond Roland is as solid as they come. He's definitely a grinder. He can get you yards. Now, if you're saying, do you need a yard behind the offensive line these guys run behind, I still think there's a question about that OSU offensive line, and can they really establish the run up the middle, those tough, grinding yards? We've seen OU's offensive line do it. Even though we're talking flash here, I'm sort of talking about offensive linemen. It's not that sexy, but that OU offensive line, they're gigantic and they're moving people, and that definitely helps a guy like Samaje Perine. All right, Barry, what about this? Need a completion? Are you giving it to Trevor Knight or Dax Garman?
Well, I'm giving it to Trevor Knight. I still want to see more from Dax Garman. Maybe after Thursday night I'll change my mind, but we still haven't seen Dax Garman against a major conference levels team. So he's played against Missouri State, Texas San Antonio. We've seen Trevor Knight in the fire. He's performed spectacularly against Alabama, solidly in Manhattan and Morgantown. That's good. That's enough for me. Right now, I'd say Trevor Knight.
I think I'm going to go with Dax Garman. Yes, I know that the book is not complete, and by Thursday night, we may all think differently once Dax Garman goes against a Big 12 defense, but I don't think so. I think this guy's got an arm and an ability that it's frankly sort of reminding me of some of the stuff that we haven't really seen at OSU since Brandon Whedon. Now, I'm not saying Dax Garman's there yet, but I think he's showing signs of having that kind of ability. Trevor Knight, for all the stuff that he does well, completing passes with a high percentage is not one of those things. He's still not as consistent passing as he needs to be. I agree we've seen more out of him, but man, Dax Garman's got a special arm. All right, Barry, our fun question of the week. It's must-see TV. Yes, OSU plays Thursday night, and that was once must-see TV time. NBC creating a big-time hubbub about that. But really, right now, what is your current must-see TV show?
I actually don't watch any current primetime show on its first run. I watch everything in syndication, but there's a show that's on that I watch in syndication. It drops me on the floor. It's so funny, and that's Modern Family.
Oh, that's great.
Everybody on the show is so funny. I have my top 3, though. Of course, it's Cam, Manny, and Phil. Phil's probably second. maybe first, no particular order. But Modern Family's just rip-roaring funny. And that's about the best of current television.
That's pretty good. And that probably ranks among all-time comedies, don't you think?
It's up there. I don't know. It's not All in the Family, but it's up there.
Okay, all right. You being an aficionado of such things. Frankly, A Modern Family is one of my must-see TVs now. I'm the same as Barry. I don't really watch stuff live. I've got a 2-year-old. You'll have to forgive me. But the one that I will try to figure out a way to see live, although it's not really live because it's live over in England, is Downton Abbey. I'm a huge fan of Downton Abbey.
Do they speak with accents?
Of course.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And they wore the period costumes, and it's awesome. It's a great show.
Is it a comedy?
It's not a comedy,
It's not a
Barry.
comedy.
I'm sorry to say. Not a comedy, but still very good. All right, Barry, lastly. Hey, let's go back to our either or. You need a stop? All right, we're going to give you a pick 'em. Who on the OU or OSU team are you saying go and stop the ball carrier, the pass catcher, the quarterback?
I am picking Eric Stryker because he plays. I was watching him against West Virginia. He looks to me like he plays sandlot football. I know he's got an assignment. I know he's supposed to be a certain place. I know Mike Stoops makes sure that he knows what he's supposed to be doing. But it looks to me like the ball is snapped and Eric Stryker just runs after the ball and jumps on the back of whoever's got it and tackles him. That's what it looks like. That looks like how he plays football. I know he ends up in pass coverage sometimes. I know sometimes that he gets blocked. Sometimes the plays run away from him. He's a non-factor. But a whole bunch of times, he just runs and tackles whoever has the ball. When I was a kid at recess, we played a game called Tackle the Man with the Ball. And it was you just pitched the ball to somebody and the whole gang tried to tackle him. And Eric Stryker would have been phenomenal on the playground at Kennedy Elementary School. He's phenomenal on the Big 12 gridiron.
Did you actually tackle on the elementary school playground? Take guys down?
Yeah, we did. It wasn't. It was a little on the brutal side.
I was gonna say
it was not the least bit. It was not the least bit pleasant.
Well, I think Eric Stryker's a great pick. I'll pick Ryan Simmons. He's the mainstay linebacker on that OSU defense. He has played every snap in 2 of the 3 games that OSU's played, and I tell you what, he has not only the ability, but the desire. He gets after people. Now, I'm not so sure he's the sandlot player that Eric Stryker is, but he is definitely the mind, the anchor, the heart of that OSU defense, and so far, we've seen that OSU defense be pretty darn good. I think Ryan Simmons is a fantastic player. We got some good defensive guys to pick from. We could have picked a whole bunch of different names. Defensive linemen, cornerbacks. There are a bunch of options out there. Good guys if you need to get somebody to the ground. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.